Right, good morning. Good morning, Dumelang, Sanbonani, Molweni, Hamjani Nyote. I would really love to greet you in every language that is represented here today. But for the sake of time, I chose only 4 South African languages: English, Setswana, isiXhosa, isiZulu. And of course, I also greeted you in Swahili, which is an official language of the African Union. And this year, UCT will become the first university to offer Kiswahili as an elective course. No university in South Africa has done that, and we're doing that this year. And that is because we are a global university that is proud of its African identity. If we haven't met yet, you're probably wondering, who is this? Well, my name is Mamokgethi Phakeng, and I'm Professor of Mathematics Education, and I'm the 10th Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Town. I'm delighted to join you. I'm delighted that you've decided to join us at our 6th annual Heads of Missions breakfast, and I hope you feel at home right here today. Some of you come from very cold countries, so I'm sure you're very happy with the sun. So welcome to this 6th annual Heads of Missions. I also want to pay a special welcome to my colleagues, members of the executive, and I'm going to ask them to stand. I saw Professor Sue Harrison is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Research and Internationalization. I don't know where she's sitting. Ah, there she is. Welcome, Sue. Sue, of course, has just arrived from Brussels, where she met with the European Union, and she had a good visit, and we're delighted that she's here today. And Professor Elelwani Ramugondo is our Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Transformation, and she's sitting right there at the corner. She's taking care of the other corner. Professor Ramugondo, thank you for joining us. I'm not sure if Professor Hasha Cathod is here. I didn't see her. But if she comes in, we'll introduce her. And also there's lots of people in the room, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. I won't introduce them by name, but I'm very delighted to host them. But let me get one thing out of the way before we start, because otherwise, if I don't do that, it might be a little tense. If you have been in South Africa for at least 3 months, or you have been reading some of the media reports, then you'd know that there has been a lot that has been said about the university and myself. I, too, am keen for the truth to be shared publicly. The UCT Council has made a very important decision to set up an independent panel that should have started 2 weeks ago. I'm so disappointed that it hasn't started. So as we start this event, I want you to know that I cannot wait for the panel to begin its work so that the truth can be uncovered and you, as our friends, can be certain about the future of our university. UCT is very important, not only to South Africa, but also for the African continent and the world. We are proud of the truly global university or global diversity of our campus and our partnerships. And thanks to the staff members and students who come here from all over the world, as well as the support your missions provide for the exceptional work by our researchers. This week, as Vice-Chancellor, I had the pleasure of welcoming international students from 88 different countries. It was amazing. I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it now. 88 different countries who chose to study at UCT. And today, I'm happy to see all of you who represent the many different countries on our campus. We are, of course, one of the most international universities in the world. Last year, we tied with Princeton. This year, we were announced as the 59th most international university in the world. Of course, as I look around, I see familiar faces of friends who are returning, but I see also new faces, and I'm so glad to see the new faces, some of who I have met. Thank you very much for making this time to spend breakfast with us. By spending this time with us, you are helping to build a sense of community between UCT and your own constituencies. And this opens a way for our work to have a positive impact beyond our country and even our continent. My colleagues from the department and alumni department are available to answer questions and assist with any other needs, and I can see them sitting in different tables. Can I see the colleagues from my Department of Alumni and Development? I see Stafford is here, Sarah is here, thank you very much. And some are serving, I saw Libu around, but they'll be happy to take questions from you if you have any. But more importantly, we have our Director of Global Engagement, Carolyn Newton, and I'm going to ask Carolyn to stand. That's Carolyn there. Carolyn will distribute her business card for those who want to make contact after the event. Carolyn, I thought it would have been already on the tables, but I'm sure you have enough, and then you can share it with everyone who's here in the room, just in case. Some of you have already asked for business cards. I've dumped paper. I no longer do paper at all. So I have challenged my office, typical. I've challenged them to say, I want my staff card with a code at the back that people can just take and get my number, my details. I don't do paper. I stopped doing paper 12 years ago. And so I stopped doing business cards during COVID, and I'm not going back to it. So I'm so sorry for anyone who's asking for my business card. Carolyn still does paper. My office is still getting its act together to make sure that we get a QR code, and then we can just make it quick. I believe all of us in this room share the same concerns about how we can develop a sustainable future for the world. Indeed, it is no longer enough to seek out the best for our own countries and communities. The pandemic, climate change, warfare, and economic uncertainty all reinforce the message that the actions of one country, one multinational corporation, or even one individual can have dramatic consequences for everybody on the planet, including wildlife and the environment. Like you, UCT is committed to seeking out effective solutions to problems that South Africa and this continent share with the rest of the world. At the core of UCT's Vision 2030, our strategic plan for addressing the challenges of the coming decade is our massive transformative purpose to unleash human potential for a fair and just society. At the same time, UCT is committed to nurturing emerging scholars across multiple disciplines with a view to building a sustainable future leadership pipeline for our institution and for Africa. We believe African expertise can not only develop solutions to African problems, but it can also solve or contribute to the solutions to global problems with the perspective that other countries may not have, especially countries in the global north, where scientists may not be familiar with the specific challenges of developing countries or developing nations. To this end, in 2018, I introduced the UCT 2030 Future Leaders Program. In this program, we are targeting young researchers who are already making a significant mark and receiving recognition as future leading scholars in their respective fields of study. As future leading scholars in their fields of study, and they're identified, of course, through a process in the country. We have a rating system, and when they get that rating, the rating system is a peer review mechanism where your peers internationally review your work, and there's a category for young people, and young people can be recognized as emerging researchers, but some get recognized as young researchers who are set to be leading scholars in their fields in at least 5 to 10 years. We at UCT have taken those and focused on developing them as future leaders of UCT, and we call them the UCT 2030 Future Leaders. And this morning, I have invited all of them. There's about 25 of them. Some of them, many of them are here. They are sitting at different tables. I can see a lot of them at that table, a lot of them at that table, here at this table, and some at that table. So there's a lot of them in the room, our future leaders. Maybe I should ask them to stand. Please stand, just so that they see you. Please, I'm sorry to do this. These are our future leaders. Our future leaders. Thank you so much for joining us. I know they have a lot of work, and this few who decided to come, I really, really appreciate. So they are my special guests this morning.